goal setting interactive workshop. As we've said, it's interactive, you're going to participate. And I think what's quite unique about this webinar is that we're inviting you to do processes with us. So there's going to be a first process that I will guide us through. It'll be about 10 minutes, but it will mean that we want you to just really rest in, and instead of being external and watching the screen and listening, well, of course, you're still going to be listening, but instead of just like sitting back and have it be dissociated, we invite you to come into yourself and go through these processes. So we've got a 10-minute process with myself, and then we have a beautiful process. It's about 15 minutes with Jess. So I'll quickly introduce myself, and then I'll hand it over to Jess to introduce herself. For those of you who haven't met, there's a couple of you who we haven't crossed paths yet. My name's Lauren Jobson, and I'm here because I love to share with others what has helped me improve my life. So I'm an expert in human potential, including goal setting and understanding our mind, as I've been teaching neuro-linguistic programming for the last 9 years and other modalities like matrix therapies and hypnosis. Just before I get you to say hello, there's a bit of interference noise, isn't there?
Yeah, I think just came up that I think Stephanie, she's just muted. We still had her microphone on. I think it was Stephanie.
Yeah, it seems like Jem, Penny, Teresa don't have that button.
Yeah, I think it was just because we allowed them to talk at the start. So
yes.
Yeah, it's all good now.
And I'll just do that, and I think we're sorted.
Yeah, Stephanie's just saying, yes, it was me, and I've muted. So it's all good.
Fantastic. Jess, let us know about you.
Well, hello. A little bit about me is that I'm here because I love helping people align their energy. So I've done a little bit of energy healing in the past, and I'm really passionate about doing that. And mindset. So I've done my NLP training through Lauren, and align those things with their action taking. So we'll talk a little bit about yin and yang and the two different ways of creating things in the world, but I'm really passionate about bringing both of those things together to help people create their most fulfilling life. So that's what I'm passionate about, and love empowering people to do that for themselves.
Yeah, and what's really beautiful, I think on a personal note, Jess, I'm feeling to share this, is that we're both new mums.
Yeah.
We both have daughters that are around the same age.
Yeah.
Neve, who turned 1 in November.
Yeah.
November,
yeah, 10th of October, yeah. She was due in November but came early, so it gave us all surprise.
And my little Amber is not 1 yet, she's 1 in 3 weeks' time. And so we're both so blessed to have beautiful daughters that we feel have come from the divine.
Absolutely.
And we're so honoured to be able to guide these little souls. And Jess, you have another one on the way.
Yes.
So that's just so exciting. So we share this too because for those of us who online who are parents or have had children in their lives, it brings this new depth and understanding of life to know that when we live happy lives, we can be really great role models to these little people that are our next generation.
Absolutely.
I wanted to share that on a personal note. So what are our intentions for you all today in the next 90 minutes? We want to be done by 2, we're starting at 1, so we're finishing at 2:30 and respecting your time. Our intentions for you is to give you time for you to reflect on your life, to dream and dream big, to go inwards and clear. We're going to give you a process to be able to have the chance to clear some of your blocks to receiving abundance, receiving your dreams, receiving your wishes. And we're also going to give you time to get clarity, to write down your goals, and again, to clear blocks to taking action. Whilst I'm going to give you a daily tool, so we're going to learn how to use a daily tool to keep you on your path of creating a life you love, because this tool allows us in this complexity of life to come back home to ourselves, to keep bringing us back to the simplicity of what life can be so that we can really create our best life going forward. You can see I've separated this information in a yin way, feminine, and a yang way, masculine. So Jess has some really beautiful insight into this and why this is important for us.
Yeah, thanks, Lauren. So, I mean, that's a beautiful sum up of the yin and the yang. And for those of you that might not be familiar, obviously that symbol in the slide there, everyone's probably seen that, the yin and the yang. And I find that that's just such a beautiful way for me to remember that there's two different approaches when we're trying to manifest our goals or make something happen in our life. And the yang, the masculine, is something that we see a lot of in this in our Western society, and that is to do with the externally taking action in the world to make things happen. So the yang and the masculine is about getting out there, getting things done, getting your to-do list done, ticking the boxes, and it's very much about putting yourself out there and taking action. And that's all very well and good, and obviously very much needed to make goals happen. But what I find is missing sometimes with people when they feel like they're just hitting a brick wall, and they could just keep forging ahead even if it's not working for them, out of habit or out of just on autopilot and they don't know another way, is to actually go inwards. And that's where the yin comes into it. So the yin, or feminine energy, and approach to manifesting goals is very much about going in, and it's about self-reflection, and for me it's about clearing blocks in my internal landscape to receiving. So so that might be your mindset, your beliefs, your programming from childhood or from other people in your life, and it's very much around really embracing your worthiness to achieve, to receive. Because if you've got blocks around whether or not you deserve to achieve or receive things, then that's really going to stop you from drawing those goals in. So what I like to imagine when I'm tapping into my yin power, as I like to call it, is that I'm like a magnet, and I can lock on to my goals and draw them to myself just by vibrating at the energy that matches that goal. So, for example, going within, identifying any blocks, clearing the things that are causing resistance for you internally. And then the magic of the yin, which I really am passionate about, is once you clear those things, you can tap into what feeling that goal will bring you. And just by tapping into that feeling, you lift your energy, you lift your vibration by being grateful for those things that are in your life now that match what that goal will bring you. It's like you're drawing that thing closer to you. It's like a beacon lights on in that goal, and you literally are drawing it to you. So I know that might seem a little bit out there and a bit woo-woo, but it really is. It has worked miracles in my life. And I know personally, you know, for my business, I might go out there and put my business cards in all the shops and do all the things and get the website going, but without going within myself, and clearing any resistance to being seen or any fear of judgment. And I actually did this process. I had my business cards out for a couple of weeks and nothing was happening. And I did this beautiful meditation where I cleared that. And I imagined, you know, the feelings I would feel when I could facilitate for people this kind of work and this kind of knowledge. And I think I shared this with you, Lauren. Within 2 days, like just out of the blue, I had phone calls, I had new clients, and I had this opportunity for this webinar. I had an opportunity for a face-to-face workshop come up. So I've seen it work for me time and time again. So I just really want to, just get across how important it is to, when you feel like you might just be overwhelmed, stressed out, burnt out, and you're just doing things the go, go, go way, there is another way. And it's about harnessing both of them into like a dance or a marriage, blending them together in your life and really knowing how to use both approaches to draw that goal and have the courage to go out there and take the action at the same time.
Beautiful, Jess. And this is why I love working with you, because your genius is in that yin aspect.
Thank you.
I love, you know, too, that I really bring yin into this industry that has been missing yin a bit in NLP, because NLP is naturally more masculine.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, totally. It's about going inwards, as you've been saying, but your genius with energy and giving everyone here today the opportunity to do a process, because you might be sitting listening to Jess going, well, how do I do this? We're going to give you a beautiful chance and opportunity to make sure you're doing your yin whilst we take our action and do yang today.
Yeah, thank you. And Stephanie's just saying she's just learning about the importance of receiving. And so is Melissa. She says here, and it is.
Yeah.
And I mean, we're all women on this webinar at the moment, and I think that it's kind of ironic that yin is the feminine energy, and I know we have both within us, but we have a certain affinity as women with the yin and using that yin power and that magic. But a lot of us, for a lot of women that I see, it's about receiving is the big thing for them, like really unpacking what's blocking them from believing that they deserve all the things that they yearn for.
Yes. So if I can answer that too from an ancient law aspect, and the principle there from consciousness says that when we are receiving, we need to be vulnerable. And I think that's what, a massive generalization for a moment, but I think it's what a lot of people, a lot of women, why they struggle with receptivity is because in the moment of receptivity, you're actually your most vulnerable. So
absolutely,
if we've got wounds from the past that we're not at peace with, if we have limiting beliefs about ourselves, particularly about our worthiness, or if we're good enough, and all this self-criticism too that you're going to talk about later, and helping people get rid of that, that is generally what's stopping women from receiving.
Yeah.
Feeling good enough, feeling worthy, all of the criticism happening that's blocking that, and truly just allowing to be vulnerable.
Yeah.
Just to quickly share what that means is that when you're given a gift, who's the one in control? The person who gave the gift. Because the giver is the one who's in control of what the gift is, when it is given, and the intention of the gift. And as the receiver, all the receiver can do and all they're responsible for is how they then respond to receiving the gift and how they receive the gift.
Yeah. And it's a really interesting concept, because a lot of the time you hear women say, I can't ask for help, or I can't, I have to do it this way, or no one else is, going to do it like I can do it, or, there's those beliefs around having to do it all themselves. So, and so what you've said, Lauren, is really, really good insight into that. And we've just had a question, if we've got a second.
Yeah, go
from
for it.
Melissa.
Yeah, cool.
About what if the criteria of what we want is yang, so like job criteria and things that are external in the world. And that's a really good question, because a lot of the times on our vision board, what we stick on there is like a new car or a new house or more money, or excellent job, and those are the tangible physical things that are easy to imagine as a goal, and the intangible things might be a relationship, or it might be just a great sense of balance or well-being or health. Those things are also goals, but they're obviously a little bit different. So that's a really good question. And I think that, again, it's still tapping into the yin and really understanding the why of the goal. So even if it is a external thing, like you have used the example of a job, really understanding what it is that you want from the job and the why. So the feelings that it will bring up for you. So the internal things, the yin things that physical job will bring for you. And once you've identified that and get clarity around that, it's tapping into what in your life now already brings those feelings for you that are self-generated. So it's not dependent on that external thing. And by tapping into that and consciously asking to expand that feeling and grow that feeling and have gratitude for that feeling, that is the magnet that activates the yin power to bring that physical yang thing externally to you. So I hope that sort of makes a little bit of sense of how to use yin for the yang. Yes, we're getting your thumbs up. So
feeling, yes. Which reminds me of a beautiful quote by Danielle Laporte. And she says, you want the journey to feel the way you want the destination to feel.
Absolutely. And we don't want to come from a place of lack when trying to achieve our goals. So, coming from a place, I don't have this and I want that, is actually not the place you want to be to magnetize, to use the yin. That is the way that a lot of people use with yang, and they just see that they don't have this and they want that, and they get very narrow-minded, and they just slog their way to the goal, and they might achieve their goal, they might, but at the expense of their well-being more often than not. So it's really, like you said, Lauren, it's about the journey and enjoying it on the way, and so cultivating those feelings that goal will bring you in the here and now.
Because we can feel whatever we want to feel right now. I do hear some people asking, but Lauren or Jess, when I am in lack, that is my reality. How can I get out of that?
Yeah, and we're actually going to talk about a little bit next in the next slide, isn't it, about the motivation, about how to switch and reframe the motivation. And that's where the tools about how to use your thinking and your mindset for you really come in handy, because as you can see, the carrot and the stick. And I admit, Lauren, that I am always motivated originally by the stick.
Oh, you know, me too.
Yeah.
As beings, we are motivated by pain.
Absolutely.
That's why we have pain. It's actually why we have suffering.
Yeah.
To show us what we don't want.
Yeah.
Move away from it. If we get burnt by something, we move away, and we know never to touch the hot thing again, right?
Yeah.
So there comes a place where it's good to have motivation from pain, and to have lack of, to have a reality of a lack of something, to then go, well, I don't want this lack of anymore. I want this instead.
Absolutely. And that was the key turnaround for me. I personally, when I learned this in NLP and life coaching, I realized how much I was staying stuck in the cycle of being motivated by what I didn't want, and was actually never turning around my focus to go ahead for what I did want. Yeah. And I think I see that so often, that simple tool, which you'll talk about now, Lauren, because you're the expert. You taught me it. So
thank you. And you love this too. Like, we're all experts in this. But I will share, I just feeling so strongly that people might be thinking, well, the reality when there is a lack of something, how do we get out of that? It's because we've got to face our reality too. If one doesn't have much money and they're in debt, people will be thinking, well, Jess, that's all well and good to practice feeling abundant, say, when I don't have that.
Yeah.
What it is, though, is reframing it and looking at where else do you have abundance, and noticing too how you actually have been looked after up until this very moment. It might not have been ideal, it might not have been your absolute best experience, but the fact is you've got through already so much to be where you are today. So what's stopping you from trusting that you're not going to continue to be great? So looking at abundance in other ways. So if one feels lacking of money, where else do you have abundance, so that you can practice the feeling of abundance whilst you focus on having more money and all the reasons why you want to have more money. So when we're talking about goal setting today in our focus, we really want to focus on what we want, not what we don't want or what we don't have. So it's called away from and towards motivation. So the example here I have on the screen, I'm going to go to the second one for now, because we've been speaking about money. Well, I brought it up, money. I don't want to be in debt. When we focus on that, we're actually then consistently picturing inside our head the debt that we have. And then noticing when we have a picture inside our mind, it brings a feeling into our body. It also brings up certain self-talk. So all of that is actually going to be what's it called, like self-fulfilling prophecy, really.
Yeah.
When the energy is all there, how are you ever going to come out of that and notice all of the possibilities in abundance? So what we want you to do is, with your language and your focus, acknowledge, okay, so cool, that's the reality, you want to get out of debt. Well, what is it that you specifically want? So I want to have an overflow of money and be ahead financially. Might be, so you could change the words, but that's an example of what it would be instead.
Yeah.
Instead of saying I want to lose weight, which is so drilled upon in society, notice that you're actually saying you want to lose something, so it's something you don't want. So we really want to change that to be, well, I want to be this size clothing. So
Yeah.
I think size clothing is a really great example when it comes to weight, because numbers on a what's it called, a scale, is sometimes not accurate, and all of that. So I think it's really great. Go and pick out a beautiful outfit that you want to fit into and focus on that. I don't want to be sick. Change it to I want to be healthy and fit.
Absolutely.
I don't want a relationship like I had in the past. For somebody, it might be that. Change it to I want a loving relationship, and all of the other values, of course, that you want. These are just examples. So we want to always use positive language. By the way, we're humans, so we've got to catch ourselves if we don't, right? When I say always, The last thing we want is to judge what you're doing. But notice, if you ever go into your negative, is reframe it and go, well, what specifically do I want instead? And just the fact that you think that and say that, and if you put your energy on that focus, you'll immediately be more open to see all the possibilities where life can give you these opportunities to make more money, to find a partner for a loving relationship, to find opportunities to make more money, and to be motivated to look after your body so that you get the size clothing that you are. So these are just examples.
Absolutely.
All right.
In your process we're going to do, Lauren, is just how potent it is once you know what you're focusing on, tapping into the feeling that will gives you that extra oomph in bringing that to you, which we'll do in your process. And, you know, it's just such a beautiful way to magnetize those things to you, rather than just, you know, a lot of people talk about the affirmations and the law of attraction, and they say the affirmation and it never works, but often it's lacking that energetic pull that we're talking about here. And emotions are just such a strong they're like, that's the power, that's the magnetic power to bring it to you, to tapping into what it would feel like when you are healthy and fit, what it will feel like when you know, putting on those size 10 clothing and your skin's glowing and you're feeling so, you know, good about yourself, you know, those kind of things.
That's true. Really visualize that inside your mind. It's feelings.
Cultivate the feeling. That's really important.
Yeah, so thanks, Jess mentions the process. What we're going to be doing in a moment is we're going to take ourselves out into 3 years into our ideal future. We're going to look at all the different areas of our life and asking, and we're telling our unconscious mind, or being guided by our unconscious mind, on what is ideal for us in 3 years' time, to then work backwards and go, okay, well, if I want that in 3 years' time, then where do I want to be in 1 year's time? And then work backwards even so that we can chunk our beautiful path that is our life, so that we're fulfilling these beautiful goals and enjoying the process and feeling really good. So that's what we're going to do in a moment. There's some really key concepts that I want to share with us all before we proceed. And that is this structure that I see a lot in people. It's quite common, of they have this aspect of perfectionism. Everything has to be perfect. Go, go, go. This person might appear to others, we could use the word controlling. They like to control their environment, and everything has to be in its box and a particular way, and they have their systems, and they're actually quite an efficient person. But really, are they efficient at the right things? When I say right things, it's the right things for them, in that, are they really fulfilling their potential? Are they really putting their energy on the things that are most important to them? So we can have this aspect of having this perfectionism, and it can mean that one doesn't start things, try new things, so go for their goals, go out of their comfort zone, until they know they can do it perfectly. And isn't that a double bind? Isn't that a thing? Because how can you ever really actually do the first thing? So the first time you do it, will it actually ever be perfect? And what is perfect anyway?
Yeah.
So can you see how people get stuck in that already? Is that if they have this perfectionism tendency, they may not even start their goals. And then what we see too with people that have this is that there's also an opposite part of themselves, and it's the procrastinator. And this procrastination feels really stuck because it's so opposite to the go, go, go. So it's like push, 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 and then it's pull back, and it's like couch potato. It's like stuff it all. I'm sick of life. It could be I'm burnt out and I don't want to do anything. So it's like push, 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 pull back, and it can be this saboteur happening, and it's this conflict going on. Can we see this person feels like they're never proceeding with their goals, not even giving them a chance, not taking the right action. What we see in this structure too is people spending too much time on the wrong things. Can you relate, Jess, to this?
Oh, I can relate to this, Lauren, so much. And Penelope is saying this sounds very familiar for her as well. And I call myself a perfectionist in recovery, and I still have my lapses, but being aware of it really helps when I get into that zone, and I know what my triggers are, and really actually understanding the link between procrastination and perfectionism was a huge eye-opener for me, because I was using my perfectionism as a procrastination tool. So I would say if I knew I had a goal of something that would put me out of my comfort zone and there was a little resistance or a little fear about that, I would do all these other things like clean out the Tupperware cupboard instead. That was my go-to. Cleaning out the Tupperware cupboard gave me that that reward center in the brain that goes, oh yes, you've done a job, you can tick that off your list, and I can feel good about myself. But really, I still had that, you know, feeling of, no, I haven't really worked towards my goal right now. I've just put it off because, you know, my goal, I don't know enough to do that yet. You know, if it was something to do, I think it was my website at the time that was causing me all this stuff, and I didn't know how to do the website. And so if it wasn't going to be perfect to go, like, to start with, then it wasn't worth it. And I would just do all these other things instead as a way of distracting myself. And it wasn't really getting me any closer to my goal, but I was getting those little rewards every now and again when I'd clean the house from top to bottom or finish it, like binge a Netflix series or something.
Oh, and this is what perfectionists do.
Yeah, everyone has their little go-to procrastination.
That's right, and they tend to be really good at controlling certain aspects of their life. So for somebody, it might be being really great at keeping the house organized and clean. They spend all their energy there. And it is wonderful to look after your environment. When you get to the point that it means you're procrastinating and sacrificing the things that are really important to you, like you said.
And I would know it from the feeling that was within me. I'd know that sort of underlying anxiety that I haven't really, you know, done anything towards my goals. And
actually not deeply.
Stephanie's saying that's been her way up until now. I want the change. What's your go-to? Do you have a procrastination strategy, Stephanie?
Yeah.
For anyone?
Your favorite procrastination?
Cleaning. She says cleaning.
Okay. Mine could be reading, actually. I think it's also reading, because I feel like I'm making progress because I'm like reading.
Yes.
Even if it's a novel though, so I'm not learning.
Yes.
Like, oh, I could tick off that I've read a book.
Yes. And you start to like kid yourself, like you know, trick yourself that you've done something. And that's why your journal, just quickly, has been so amazing for me to use, because I had my to-do list that I had like 3 stuck, you know, on the fridge at one time, but using your planner and a journal to actually write down what my 3 big goals are, and really getting clarity on what I'm doing towards those goals, rather than just tricking myself that I'm doing something that's not really doing something, just procrastinating. It's kept me accountable, and it's been really, really good. So thank you for that.
Beautiful, Jess, beautiful. Thanks for sharing, everybody. Like cross stitch. So by the way, I can see the chat box now.
Oh, you can. Okay.
I can.
Yeah, cross stitch.
Thanks everyone for sharing. You know, perfect cupboards.
Chopping food, reading books. Yeah.
And so that is why I created my planner, Jess, is to bring us back again home to ourselves on our path. And this is the thing I really wanted to make sure I share with people on this webinar, is that as Jess and I are talking about goals today, and we're talking about improving ourselves and creating a life we love, please know the journey's not going to be perfect. And we have to be careful that we then don't judge ourselves on that, because you know what? Put my hand right up. I am not a consistent person. Some days I am brilliant and I get my goals and I contribute to the world by doing a webinar like this. And other days I don't do what I want to do, right? But it's letting go of I have to do it perfect and do it all this one way. Or then what people do is the moment they make a mistake, or the moment they don't continue their new habit, or the moment they don't take action towards their goal, it becomes a nothing structure. It's like they might then go, oh, no, I'm not made for this. I'm not as consistent as Lauren, or however people might perceive me, because I'm a life coach and I'm an expert, but I'm sharing this because I want you to know that I say that I know about human potential, but even myself, I'm not great every single day. And I hope sharing that inspires you to know that we're all the same. Sometimes I feel that and go, am I failing at life because I struggle with certain things? And we're not. We're all in this together. So I want you, invite yourself today to let go of all or nothing. which brings me to the next thing of overcoming overwhelm and coming back home to yourself and staying on path. So this is why I created a planner, because I find that planners are your way to come back home to yourself, to keep accountable, for you to focus on your goals, to know where you want to be in 3 months' time. It's a small chunk of time as you work backwards. So again, in a moment, we're going to go, where do I want to be in 3 years, to where do I want to be in a year, to then what do I want to achieve in 3 months' time. And just seeing it as little self-love quests of 3 months' time, what would you like to achieve?
Yeah.
And I created this journal, and I don't even use it every day. Okay, but what I do is I come back to it. I don't go, oh, I've skipped a few days, I've forgotten. Oh, what is Lauren? Oh, I haven't even done this whole week. But I don't go, oh, well, no, the planner doesn't work. What I do is, this is my tool to come back home to myself and go, right, okay, so I haven't been consistent, but that's okay. I come back. It's just like the metaphor of, we leave our house, go into our external world, we always come back home. We go out, we come back home. So I really do think that having a planner, a way where you write down your goals, a place where you can be in and constantly reflect, but a thing that brings you back home to yourself, and something like this too will help you overcome overwhelm. So I want you just to understand that our brain works with certain chunks of information, and we all feel so busy. We've got so much going on. So a way to overcome overwhelm is to be able to chunk our life into categories. So this is a picture of my personal journal from my planner. And you can see there it's got my 1 year self-love mission. So these are my goals for where I want to be in 1 year's time. So I put the date, because it's really good for the unconscious mind to specify what will be the date. And it's good to nice measurement as to look at your age, just to get a nice measurement, as I say. And then I've separated and gone, okay, well, me personally, my body, so relationships, home, business. Now, there are other aspects of life, and we'll talk about them in a moment. But for me, for my next 3 months, this is what I came up with. So how you can overcome overwhelm is mind mapping. You don't need the planner to do this. You just get a piece of paper out and you chunk down these things. And what it does is you can have the big picture whilst also having the detail at the same time. So with this busy time of year with Christmas, you might be going, oh, I've got so much going on in my head. If you feel really busy in your head all the time, to the point too where you might not even be sleeping, or you feel so stressed, even if you're not taking action. Do you know that when we feel so busy, yet we're not actually doing anything?
Yeah.
We've got round and round goes in our head of all the things we need to do.
Absolutely.
There's science that the moment we actually handwrite with a pen, because we're missing that these days, is because it goes through our neurology and we write it down, our head rests. Our unconscious mind doesn't have to keep going on with the whirling, because it knows consciously that if we need to remember something, we simply have it written down. We can look back at it.
Yeah.
So whether you look at it or not, it actually doesn't matter. But it's this whole thing of, you know, it's written down, so you don't have to keep it in your head anymore.
And the mind mapping strategy is so brilliant to overcome the perfectionism tendencies as well, because you know, you don't have to structure it perfectly. Getting rid of structure and just sort of mind mapping like that allows that creative flow to come through, and all of a sudden you're just writing ideas down that you never thought of before.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
This freedom aspect that we have
Yeah.
as well. So free writing. So I invite you to do that. Again, for those of you who haven't bought my planner, you have actually been given free version via email. So you have this to print out if you want to actually use the planner. So talking about different areas of our life, here is the different areas. We've all seen maybe different wheels of life, because in a minute we're going to do our going out into 3 years' time. So just going to remind you of all the categories in life that we can think about. So our personal growth, our contribution we make to the world, our spiritual health, fun, romance, family, social life, health, personal finances, and career. So there can be other ones, but I think it covers it pretty well.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
All right. So is everybody ready? Because I want to take you now on a journey out to your ideal 3 years' time. Just want to check in with everybody.
Yeah, there's just a couple of questions.
So
Have you got chat open, Lauren?
I do. So
I love that, Melissa. Yeah, getting out of bed with the focus of loving yourself. Absolutely.
can everybody else see the chat? I think they can. Oh no, it's only to all panelists. So
Oh no, all panelists and attendees, I think.
well, it's that cross-stitch one, but you can notice it.
Oh yeah, some are just to us. Yeah. Yeah.
So Melissa so beautifully said, I think getting out of bed with the focus of just loving ourselves, even though it's a balancing act of discipline and focus. Is there more to that? No. Yeah, absolutely. Just loving ourselves. And that's the difference between the planners. I'm a bit of a planner addict. Again, I haven't, been consistent, but I still come back to them. But I created my planner to have self-love aspects in there because that's my thing. So there's the daily planner has a place. So you've got your 3 diamonds for the day, your 3 most important things that you want to do for the day. But this part here, it says, I love myself today because, and I've written here yesterday, I believe, because I love my creativity. So that's what I wrote one day. So that's exactly right, Melissa. Sometimes we just have to go, I am perfect in my imperfection. I embrace the chaos.
Yeah, love it.
Yeah, it's how we judge ourselves that matters. It's our self-talk, and we can be playful with our self-talk. Don't get attached to it because we are always more than we think we are.
Yeah.
Another question, Jan, it's a great question. What about when all the plans and actions that we've taken have failed? Yeah. Whew, I get it. I get it. A number of things. It could be that it wasn't meant to be. The universe, like if we think of a bigger picture right now, knowing who's on board here, I'm happy to suggest that we're all okay to talk about, like from a universal aspect, maybe it wasn't meant to be in the way that we expect. Maybe there's things still inside of us that's projecting out in that way. Jess, have you got any insight?
My insight would just be, even the wording that you use with plans and actions, again, that suggests the yang way of doing things, of going out there and just doing. So my question would be, have you gone within and actually looked at, well, failure is just a matter of perspective. So it's always going to give you tools and resources if you choose to believe that you've grown as a result of whatever your experience has been. But going within in the yin and actually reflecting on, how has it failed? What is actually the thing that hasn't come to fruition? And is there any beliefs? Is there any, did your stuff get brought up? And if so, then there might be some things energetically being held in place, and your mindset and your beliefs and those internal things that might need to be looked at and addressed, to really clearing the way to making it easier. Because, if you feel like you're just slogging and are not getting anywhere, then often it's something internal in your internal landscape that you need to love and send some attention to. So that would be my suggestions there.
Yeah, it's a lot of learning.
Yeah. We've got something from Melissa.
Yeah, she's sharing. And that's no, that's not to everybody. That's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just never been brought up with the goal setting for the self. Yeah. Well, I mean, you lovely 30-somethings. Well, Melissa, I wouldn't have thought you were in your 40s yet. I thought you were late 30s, 39. But if you are of my mum's generation, let's say, I see that in my mum and my aunties as well, that they're on the autopilot of just doing for the sake of doing and following the structure of what society has told them that is their goal. So, it could be just get an education, get a job, find a man, have kids, and settle down, and that's it. And there's none of that reflection of what that brings to them, like the feeling of that. So, the external goals are given more precedence than actually what makes you happy within yourself. So, I hope we can be part of spreading that message to all generations. Stephanie, I'm at 62. This is a space my age group is often in, and I now want more. Yeah. Bring it on.
It's definitely a movement. No matter our age right now, it's a beautiful time to be alive and to be so aware
Absolutely.
and open to these things, because there's an awakening happening, and we're all the leaders in this. The fact that you're into these types of things and you're on this webinar means that you're a leader in the movement of coming inwards, bringing the feminine into the world.
Yeah.
The world that we're in is masculine. I'll just quickly explain. Masculine is anything that has form, right? The moment we can label something, it's masculine. Because if we do think of a male form, just to understand masculine energy, it's that the sexual organs are outside on a man. So anything we can see, anything that has form is masculine, and anything that doesn't have a boundary, that we can't really label the moment before it can be labeled, that's what makes it feminine. So in a masculine world, because we see things and that all has boundaries, we've been yearning for the sacred feminine for so long, and that's what's been missing. So no matter your age, I hope now you can feel that you just continually looking at yourself and wanting to be better and wanting to be the change you want to see in the world, and constantly, reflecting, doing your best, being flexible, all of these things. Because Jan, I must admit, I'm still holding on to your question and wanting to give you more of an answer. So I'm holding on to it for a bit longer, and if anything comes to me, I want to share that further. But thanks everyone for sharing what you have so far, because it's really, really cool. So glad you're all resonating with what we're sharing as well. So we're going to get into the process. It's going to be about 10 minutes. So getting comfortable, and you're going to have your eyes closed throughout this, and I'll be asking a few questions that you can then just remember the answers inside your head. But when we come out of it at the end, and you open your eyes, it would be good if you have your pen and paper ready so that you can write down any thoughts that came to you and the answers to any questions that I ask you. You can write it down. Okay, so cool, Jan, you're welcome. So I'm happy to keep my video on. Jess, you're all cool. We're all good. Okay, let's get into it, everybody. So bowing your head and closing your eyes. And taking a deep breath in and out, and noticing that as soon as you close your eyes, you are now even more immediately, like just already, you can be more connected to your body, how you're feeling. Observe your thoughts and trust your thoughts. Just trust everything. Nothing's right or wrong. Some things might be negative, some might be positive, and that's okay. It is what it is. Just notice, just observe, and just be really mindful of your judgments. Please being really gentle on yourself throughout this. And whilst you're sitting here in your chair, in your room, I just want you to ask your creativity, your imagination, to get a sense of where is your past in relationship to your body. So if you were just to guess and to know, where is your past? Is it behind you? Is it to the left? Is it up? Is it down? It could be in any direction. Just getting a sense of where your past is. So say, for example, mine is behind me. Just notice that. And now ask your creativity, your imagination, because you are making it up, but that's okay. When you make it up, that's still perfect. It's from your unconscious mind. Where is your future? Getting a sense of where is your future in relationship to your body. Is it ahead of you? Is it to the right? Is it up, round in circles, wherever it might be? Getting a sense of when you think about your future, where is it in relationship to your body? And just now notice that wherever your past is and wherever your future is, it can imply a line. You can make a line out of that. And it doesn't have to be a straight line, but just getting a sense that you can see where your past is and see where your future is. And that is your timeline of your life. And I invite you now to be up above it all. So go ahead and float way, way up in the air. And just imagine floating way, way up above now and being above it all. And being able to turn around and face your past, and then so easily and comfortably turning around and facing your future. And just before we go out into your future, just turn again to your past. I want you to notice, does your past have a color to it? Does it have a brightness? Or it can have a dimness to it as well. For some, it might be bright. For some, it might be dark. And that's totally okay. Maybe nothing comes to you, and that's okay too. It's just interesting how you can project and perceive your timeline, how you've experienced life. Now, no matter what your past has been and no matter what that looks like, I want you to turn to your future and notice that there's this path out in front of you that is your future, and to realize that we only ever have the now. We only ever have this moment. And in this moment, we have been projecting our perception of our past. So we're actually making meaning to our past by the way we perceive it in the now. And we are projecting our future and what it's going to be like because of who we are now. So notice your future and what does it look like? Again, as you just sense, because you're above it all, so you're above your future. You're above your whole life, just being above it all. Notice this path. It might be bright or it might be dark. Again, that's okay. So 5 minutes ago, or before you came onto this webinar, unconsciously, more so than consciously, perhaps you haven't thought about it before, is you're actually projecting your future in some way. You were already projecting and imagining your future to be what it was going to be because of your beliefs that you hold, the beliefs that you have about yourself and life. You're projecting your future because of the emotions that you've been feeling and all of your experiences that have led up to now. So instead of taking just that path of the future of who you were 5 minutes ago or an hour ago, we're going to notice that you have your future ahead of you that you can recreate in every single moment because you have this moment now. And you can choose your perception. And as you continue to work on your past and get the support to let go of any limitations, we can create our most exciting, our best, our most happy, ideal life. One where we are self-loving and make the best decisions for ourselves. And this is the path that we're going to take. We're going to take the path of our ideal future. So ask your unconscious mind now, here we go, to go out 3 years from now. So go out now to the 4th of December, 2021. And notice yourself down below you. That's it. So it's the 4th of December, 2021. And notice what age are you 3 years from now? In 2021, in December, how old will you be? Sometimes I lose track. So just get that number. That's it. And when you're ready, floating down inside the event and arrive next to your successful, happy future self. Go ahead and be there with your successful, happy future self. 4th of December, 2021. And I want you to notice, how are you looking? How is your body? How is your health? How are you dressed? How are you expressing yourself? Notice your face and how happy you are. Your skin is gorgeous. Look at you. You've got that youthful glow because you've been taking such beautiful self-loving action for the last 3 years. And notice now your external environments that support you. So how is your home? So what kind of home are you in? Are you in the same place or different? And how is it looking? This is your ideal, remember. What is the car you drive if you have a car? Because that's also an environment. It gets you from place to place. And how do you treat your car? What does it look like? Notice your workplace, your office, or wherever it is that you contribute to the world. How is that looking? Because how you treat your external environment supports you, makes you feel really great. And notice the ideal of this, your best self. Notice outside your home, what does that look like? your external environment. And as we're talking about your health and your environment, let's also now go to the category of our money. So how is our financial health? This is your absolute ideal. So how much money are you making? How well are you managing it? Where have you put your money? Because energy, because money speaks. It's just energy, isn't it? And your money talks. It tells you what you most value. So how are you with your money? This is your best self, remember. Now notice who is around you, who is in your life, who's closest to you, and who's not, really, put simply. Some people you might have in your life, but they haven't been the most supportive influence. But that's okay, because here, because you're your most loving self, you have found a way, if it's been appropriate to still have them in your life, you've found a way, though, to keep yourself protected. So you're no longer negatively influenced by them. But notice who is in your life, and notice how supportive they are. That's it. So notice what you're doing for your contribution. This part of your life that allows for you to have an abundance of money and an abundance of reward as you contribute to others and you grow and evolve. What are you doing for your contribution? How's your spirituality? What practices might you be doing, or what are you believing? Notice your ideal life and anything else that you want to just notice now. As we're going to ask your successful future self some questions, and you're going to remember the answers, and then you'll get a chance to write them down. So I want you to ask your future self, what did she believe about herself that allowed her to be so successful, so self-loving, and so happy? What did she believe about herself? And notice your future self answering. And now asking, what obstacles did you have to overcome, and how did you overcome them to be so successful, loving, and happy? What were the obstacles and how did you overcome them? And you might not get conscious answers, by the way. It might come to you more in the form of just feelings. And then more specific thoughts can come to you later. But just get a sense that your future self is letting you know of all the obstacles and all the ways that you can overcome them to be here, to be so successful. And one last question. What resources did she call upon to get where she is today? So resources and resourcefulness. So resources such as, what did she need to learn? What did she need to do? And resourcefulness, what emotions did she need to pull upon? Courage, confidence, resilience, perhaps, things like that, that allowed her to be successful. And I'm just going to give you some space to ask your future self any more questions, and just to listen and notice. Is there anything else you'd like to know that will allow you to have these feelings of how good it feels to be so successful and happy? And again, it might just be feelings. Getting a sense of feeling now, feeling inside in your body, feel deep inside your body. Notice how good it feels to have every single area of your life in its absolute best. You've been the most self-loving, and it's perfect. Look around you. Your health, money, relationships, work, environment. It's getting better and better in every way. and feel how amazing it feels to be in control of your life as you are so self-loving. And as good as it feels, it's time now to thank your future self and to know that you're going to meet with her again in the future. Well, in fact, you'll be her. You won't meet with her because you'll be her. For the 4th of December 2021, you'll be back here feeling so great and wonderful and so self-loving in every way. So for now, it's time to thank your future self, coming out of that time now, floating all the way up above, and almost coming back to now. But before you come all the way back to now, just stop at 4th of December 2019. Notice how old you are. And just a quick check-in and just get a sense and tap into all these wonderful feelings. Of 4th of December 2019, you are on track, you are on path of achieving all of those beautiful goals and having your most ideal life. And unconsciously, maybe consciously, acknowledging that you've taken the right action, you've achieved and set beautiful goals that will keep you on path to creating your most ideal life. And when you've got a sense of that, being so successful in 2019, coming all the way back to now, 4th of December 2018, and when you're ready, floating down inside now, coming back into your body, getting a sense of how your body feels. And when you're ready, it'll be time to open your eyes. I almost didn't want to come back.
No, me either. Beautiful.
Thank you, Jess. Did you enjoy that?
Yeah.
So, ladies, as we're waiting, we're just going to give you a minute now to write down if you'd like to. Some people like to write things down. Again, that's that feeling I said before of you putting it out there so you don't have to keep it in your head. For others too, for me in that instance, well, perhaps because I was leading it as well, but I just got feelings come to me. And I feel really great and refreshed, actually.
Yeah, me too. I love it.
Yeah.
It's so amazing how much comes to you when you're just tapping into that, giving yourself permission for that inner wisdom to come through, you know?
Yeah, and it's that yin, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think there's a quote that says, you know, the same way of thinking about a problem will never create the solution.
That's it.
Something.
Einstein even said that.
Yeah, and it really, all it takes is actually just to tap into something a little bit more self-loving and allowing that inner wisdom to come through. It just shifts your way of thinking. Just so simple.
Yeah. That's it. So ladies, if you could just maybe do a hands up or the chat, I mean, I'd love to actually hear how you went. So if you want to just quickly share in a comment in the chat box how that was for you. Thanks, Mylan, for I'm going to just say now, Mylan, your procrastination thing. So cool. All right, ladies. Well, we are going to continue, if that's okay. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, when you space out, or if you feel like your conscious mind stopped listening and didn't know really what was going on, that's okay. That's okay, because your unconscious mind can still process. It has been still processing, and again, it's the feelings that you feel. And by the way, I'm going to be recording that, what I just did. I will record it with some beautiful music in the background because it takes some editing, Jess, so with yours too.
Yeah. Well, I was even just thinking if we do run out of time today, I can send my meditation as a recording.
Sure. I don't think we will though, because what we can do is we can do it quite soon. But yeah, loved it. Oh, that's great, Penny. Reminded me of what my original desires were and how I will achieve that. Feeling really excited. Love this process. Yay. I'm so happy that you
Awesome.
know your steps and you're feeling really excited. That's so cool. Okay, so we're just going to continue. So by the way, with what we just did is you want to mind, well, a good thing now you can do in your own time is you can mind map it. So I, in that meditation, gave you different categories to think about. So just as I did, I will actually just go back to my example. And I didn't have to mention all areas of life, but I just happened to write these ones. And I just did a bit of a mind map. So that's a way now that after this webinar, you can see and brainstorm and write out everything that you thought about. You want to do that for 1 year out as well. So I know we didn't technically go into 2019, but you can very easily just imagine how you want that, how you want 2019 to be, and you can just do the same process with a mind map. Okay? And then we want you to write out one specific goal. So I'm sure you came up with a number of goals you want to achieve. We want you today to give yourself the opportunity, and to do it now, to write out a goal. Then we're going to have beautiful Jess do the most amazing meditation process to check in with all our energy to make sure it's really aligned with achieving this. So they're pretty quiet, Jess, aren't they? They're all tranced out.
Well, I mean, I'm the same. Any experience like that, I always just kind of feel so relaxed afterwards.
Yes. Ooh, ooh, ooh. So this is also in my journal, so you would have got this PDF sent out to you in an email, by the way. But in the free version, you would have only got space to write out one goal, whereas in this planner, you get a space for what are your 3 goals for the next 3 months. And again, we'd love for you to write it out, or a great way to do it is in a mind map way. And how also the unconscious mind works is to state the date. So what an example we have here, it is the 1st of February 2019, and then it's in this instance I have launched my business. And then it's specific, and then around that specific goal are all the steps and all the kind of thoughts and ideas. And again, it's a brain dump, and it has you get it all out there, and there's a space to go, why is this goal important to me, and what is the reward? So
yeah, and as I did this process, it was just so easy that things flowed of steps I could take that I'd never thought of before, just by doing it in that mind map kind of creative, getting in touch with that creative space. It was good.
Yes,
Really
this is it. And the idea again is letting go of any of all or nothing structure, is that it'll come back home. So say if you miss a few days, or you're feeling a bit scattered or busy with Christmas coming up and things like that, it's like, oh, and you just come back and you read the journal and you go, oh wow, yes, in February I want that, which means I can do that. And you can tick off things around. I use a highlighter. I think a really great way is to highlight things off once it's done. But also wanting to make the point that if you don't achieve all of those in that time, that is okay, because it's not about all or nothing. It doesn't mean you're not going to keep going and not doing accountability, but just to continue bringing you back to your focus. Just come back home to yourself.
Yeah.
So who wants to share one of their goals? So in this time, and while if they want to share their goal while this person is sharing.
So Melissa's.
Please, everybody, I want you to write out a specific goal. So it is, write the date and put, I have this. And then around it, put all the other steps. So who wants to share? Sorry, Jess.
Oh, I was just saying, Melissa's just got the awesome trifecta: a new job, a new home, and a lovely partner.
Yay!
Sounds awesome.
Good.
And you deserve every single one of those, and absolutely bring it on. That sounds amazing.
Yay. So yeah, Melissa, that'd be beautiful to write. The idea now is what we are suggesting is writing these things down and having,
as if they are in the now, Lauren.
In the now for the future date.
Oh yeah.
Because it's okay to put a future date, and then, as you've been saying too, practice the things that you want to feel by getting the goal. It's like, well, I want to feel loved by a partner. Before you find the partner, make sure you are loving yourself and finding ways in your life where you feel loved. Yeah,
absolutely.
Really good. Okay. Yay, Steph, that's so beautiful. Loving partner, full art workshops, absolutely, and money flow. So how I do it is I think of, again, where I want to be in 3 years. So I did that process. And then you work back and go, okay, well, if that's what I want, and that's the example I had on my slides, in 1 year, then I just go, well, what's realistic for the next 3 months? And it's what Jess did too. So these examples up on the screen are Jess's examples. And so we go, right, is it, you know, do I want to focus on filling up art workshops in this next quarter? Or do I want to do it in my next planner, which would be, you know, from February to to May? So it's being realistic. What are my goals now? And then what will be my next set of goals? And just continuing again, we do say, write down your goals. It's masculine. And the yin aspect of constantly reflecting and coming back home to yourself and having a tool that will keep you accountable. Anyone want to share? Oh, well, people have been sharing their goals. Okay, great. Hopefully you've all written at least one goal down in this way. Okay, and if you haven't printed out your PDF and you haven't got my journal, you might want to rewrite it in that way with the love heart and just have it there. So I want workshops in February. I put that date in the goal. Yes,
Yeah.
that's fantastic. So your next quarter, so now onwards, is filling up that workshop. That's really great. Yeah, beautiful. So that's for now. So Steph, if you haven't already started using your journal, that's exactly what you'll be using this for. And here too, again, I've put 3 goals, but you don't have to do all of it. It's not all or nothing. It can just be, you know what? That one goal is enough to focus on. Yay, Penny. In 3 months, I will have 5 people. So I'm just going to put 5. I will have 5 people signed up to train for my next Camino in a mindful way with me. The walk is taking place in June 2019. Yay!
Awesome.
How fantastic goals. I love this. I love how it's specific. It's beautiful. And this too is you need to have the masculine specific. And then if there's anything feminine about it, like, and my business will be in flow and I will feel fantastic. That's what we call ambiguous, because you can't really measure feeling fantastic. Because the fact is you can actually feel fantastic right now too. And you can practice that every day. So yeah, being specific and then having that around. Beautiful. So I think we're doing really well for time. I think we get into this, Jess.
Sure. Awesome. Well, everyone's nice and relaxed already.
They are.
Yes. So we are going to do another closed eye process with a meditation. And we're going to work a little bit on bringing an energy source in that is the universe or the divine or whatever is your word for it, God. It's all perfectly fantastic. But that is going to be the focus on the first part of the meditation, really raising our vibration up with that energy and tapping into that. And we're going to do a few releases from some specific chakras, so energy centers, if you're not familiar with the chakras, the term chakras. And yeah, we're just going to hopefully relax. And if you do feel comfortable to repeat the affirmations after me, then that's really good as well, because words do have power and they have energy in themselves. So just taking your time to release those and yeah, enjoy. So my main intention with this meditation is for you to have an experience in how to connect with that source of energy that has an infinite supply. So it's not relying on your energy like the yang masculine of the go, go, go and wearing yourself out and getting burnt out. It's tapping into that source of energy that, you know, brings that inspiration and that, you know, joy and that energy in itself to allow you to spread that out through your energy field and impact the world. So without further ado, we'll get into it. So just going to find a nice relaxing position. And just taking some deep breaths as you feel yourself relax. Allowing any tension, any stress, any anxiety just to melt away as you take the breath in and breaths out. Really drawing that breath in as deep as you can into the belly. Nurturing your beautiful body with that life-giving breath. And releasing. Very good. Now we're going to bring our awareness to the top of our heads where the crown chakra or the crown energy center resides. And just consciously opening that crown chakra, asking it to open, activate, and expand more than it ever has before. Allowing more energy and light through that crown chakra than it ever has before. Activate, open, expand. And just imagine now that a column of electric violet light is pouring down from the highest point in the universe that you can imagine, all the way down into that crown chakra and into your body, pouring down through every cell, allowing all the other chakras to open and activate as it pours down through your body, saturating your mind, body, and spirit with this divine healing source. That's it. And just consciously allowing anything that is not in alignment with this divine energy to be released from the chakras, giving it permission to release. And as we breathe in, we consciously draw in more of that energy from above, drawing it down like pulling it through a straw, really pulling in that divine source from above and filling ourselves up, allowing it to expand outward into our energy field, allowing our aura to stretch out with that energy more than it ever has before. And knowing that just by filling yourself up with this divine source, you can make a positive impact and influence others in your world just by being connected and in flow. And on the next out breath, we're going to imagine shooting that electric violet light down through the base of the spine and the soles of the feet, down into the core of Mother Earth, connecting us above and below. Drawing it in from above, connecting it down to the earth. That's it. And on the next in-breath, we're going to draw it up from the earth, up from the core of Mother Earth, up into the base of the spine and into the cells of the body. You might like to visualize the energy from Mother Earth as like warm molten gold, full of nurturing, vital energy, loving and supporting, knowing that the potency of this energy, this grounding energy, is so powerful that even by tapping into it allows us to bring our physical dreams into manifest. Allowing that rich gold energy to fill up any space in your body where you may have released blocks of emotion or stress, and filling it instead with that loving, nurturing energy from our beautiful Mother Earth. Very good. And so knowing that we are a conduit for divine energy from above and divine energy from below. And we're going to take turns alternating from bringing in that electric violet light from above on the in-breath, shooting it down to the earth on the out-breath, and then bringing up the energy from the core of the earth on the in-breath, and shooting that up to the stars on the out-breath. In from above on the in-breath, letting it mingle in your heart for a while, and then pushing it down through the base into the core of the earth on the out-breath. Drawing it up from the earth on the in-breath, letting it mingle in the heart and shooting it up to the stars on the out-breath. You might feel tingling sensations or an expansion as you do this process. This process is so powerful just to expand your energy and really visualize just expanding that energy outward and locking onto those goals that you want to bring towards yourself, using your yin power, that magnetic pull, this energy within you, to find wherever it is in the universe, those goals you want to draw to yourself, and lighting it up like a beacon to resonate at the same level that you were vibrating at, and draw it irresistibly towards you in your life. That's it. Rippling out. Very good. I'm going to bring our awareness to our throat chakras. And just in the throat center there. This specific chakra can often deal with energy that we can store in relation to self-criticism, judgment, controlling behavior, and perfectionism. And this can get in the way of starting or finishing a project, or even just allowing us to enjoy the experience of the journey. So if you feel comfortable speaking out loud for these releases from the throat, then repeat after me. I now release all energetic imprint.
I now release all energetic imprint
Of speaking harshly with judgment and criticism.
of speaking harshly with judgment and criticism
To myself or others.
to myself or others.
I release this thoroughly and completely now.
I release this thoroughly and completely now.
Good. Now breathing in and using that electric violet light to push out from the throat any energy that's not in alignment with your highest divine good. That's it. Using your intention to release. And just say, I release from my cells the pattern of thinking or behavior.
I release from myself the patterns. What is it, Jess? Again, say again.
I release from my cells the pattern of thinking or behavior.
I release from my cells the pattern of thinking or behavior
That creates procrastination,
creates procrastination,
perfectionism,
perfectionism,
and the need for control at all costs.
and the need for control at all costs.
I recognize this is no longer serving me.
I recognize this is no longer serving me,
And let this go now.
and I let this go now.
Breathing in, pulling in from above, and pushing out of the throat. Good. Feeling that release. Excellent. Just one more for the throat chakra, bringing your awareness to that throat chakra. And just say, I now release all beliefs.
I now release all beliefs
That I have to exhaust myself.
that I have to exhaust myself
Or work non-stop.
or work non-stop
To achieve what I want in my life.
to achieve what I want in my life.
I release this all or nothing behavior.
I release this all or nothing behavior
From my mind, body, and spirit now.
from my mind, body, and spirit now.
Good. Breathing in. And releasing. You might like to just imagine that releasing from everywhere, not just the throat, from your whole energy field. Good. And just feeling that sense of freedom, of being lighter, being able to express yourself more compassionately and in a self-loving way. And we're going to visualize filling up the throat now with some affirmations, some energetically charged affirmations for our new reality moving forward. So just repeating after me again. I am so grateful
I am so grateful
that I am balanced and organized in my life
that I am balanced and organized in my life
in a way that allows flow,
in a way that allows flow,
freedom,
freedom,
self-care,
self-care,
and achieving the outcomes I set for myself.
and achieving the outcomes I set for myself.
Breathing that in and holding in the throat chakra, imagining it pulsating with this new energetic vibration, sending it love, and letting it soak into every cell of your being. Just another affirmation. I believe that I can express myself to others.
I believe that I can express myself to others
in a compassionate and clear way,
in a compassionate and clear way,
aligned with my boundaries,
aligned with my boundaries,
in what I want in my life.
in what I want in my life.
Good. Breathing that in and holding. And letting that soak into every cell. Good. Beautiful. And one more. Say, I'm committed to allowing my self-talk.
I am committed to allowing my self-talk
to be as nurturing and loving.
be as nurturing and loving,
Kind and supportive.
kind and supportive
As possible.
as possible.
To help me grow and thrive.
To help me grow and thrive
As a self-loving person.
as a self-loving person
Of influence in the world.
of influence in the world.
Good. Breathing that in and holding. And really sending gratitude to the throat chakra. Asking it to soak in that new energetic vibration. And just knowing that those supportive affirmations will now resonate as this new energetic truth for you. Good. And now we're bringing our awareness to the solar plexus chakra, which is just below the sternum. This energy center often holds the energy, the unserving negative energy of fear, of self-doubt, and can often lead to the lack of self-esteem that's needed to put yourself out there and take action for the things that you want. So just bringing your awareness there and just bringing in that electric violet light from above still. Using that as a tool that we're using to clean out the energy we don't want to hold on to anymore. And just repeating after me. I now release all fear of failure.
I now release all fear of failure,
Self-doubt and fear of judgment.
self-doubt and fear of judgment
That may be holding me back.
that might be holding me back
From shining my own unique light in the world.
from shining my own unique light in the world
And from being seen by others.
and from being seen by others.
Good. Breathing in and pushing out through the solar plexus and releasing that energy. Good. That's often a big release for people around releasing fear of judgment. So just doing that again, just saying I release all fear of judgment. And pushing that out. Beautiful. So just another release. Say I'm now ready to release all beliefs.
I'm now ready to release all beliefs
That tell me I am not good enough.
that tell me I'm not good enough
Or not worthy enough.
or not worthy enough
To achieve what I truly yearn for in my life.
to achieve what I truly yearn for in my life.
That's it. Breathing in from above and pushing out that energy. Anything that's in alignment with that belief that you're not good enough, you're not worthy enough. Anything that's being said by you or others, just letting that go. Giving yourself a little wiggle if you need to, really asking your cells to release that energetic imprint. Good. And lastly, for the solar plexus, just repeating after me, I'm now ready to dissolve
I'm now ready to dissolve
any walls I may have put up
any walls I may have put up
to protect myself from rejection,
protect myself from rejection,
failure, or criticism
failure, or criticism
that has kept me playing small
has kept me playing small,
and has prevented me
has prevented me
from truly putting myself out there
from truly putting myself out there
to dream big
to dream big,
and take action
take action
towards what I want in my life.
towards what I want in my life.
Breathing in and just visualizing any walls that you've put up just dissolving now, and knowing that you are always safe, always supported, and you can always reassert boundaries from where you are now if you need to, rather than from what the past has told you. Just maybe sending gratitude for those protective structures that have been in place, knowing that they were only put there to protect you. And if they are no longer serving you and you're ready to really blaze your light in the world, just asking them to dissolve and release. That's it. Good. Now we're going to fill up the solar plexus with those positive affirmations. So just bringing your awareness to the solar plexus and say, I am now ready.
I am now ready
To allow the fire
of
inspiration, passion, purpose, and joy.
Of
Inspiration.
Yep.
Inspiration, passion, purpose, and joy. To light up my life.
To light up my life.
And blaze out into the world.
Blaze out into the world.
Very good. Breathing that into the solar plexus. And hold, letting it soak into every cell. Really feeling that warmth of that fire of inspiration, of passion, of purpose, of joy. And really visualizing what it will be like to shine that light from that place out into the world. Knowing that you have a unique message and a unique energy, a unique vibration like no one else does. And that by sharing your message, sharing your truth, sharing your mission, you are going to impact people that will be drawn to you. Because there'll be no one else like you that has that message. No one else has that message like you do. Really feeling that. Good. And just say, I am ready to take action.
I am ready to take action.
Aligned with the highest vision for myself.
Aligned with the highest vision of myself.
And to be free.
And to be free.
Courageous. And loving. In the steps I take.
In the steps I take.
To bring my goals closer to me.
To bring my goals closer to me.
That's it. Breathing in. Letting that resonate all throughout your body. Very good. And last one for the solar plexus. Say, I am confident and inspired.
I am confident and inspired.
I am abundant in all the resources.
I am abundant in all the resources.
I need within myself. To live a thriving. Fulfilling. And joy-filled life. I am ready to shine.
I am ready to shine.
That's it. Breathing in. And letting that soak into every cell. Feeling it spread out its warmth throughout your whole body. Beautiful. Knowing that this level of vibration is going to attract the reality of those goals towards you now that are in alignment with the highest vision for yourself. Knowing the truth of that. Beautiful. And as we come to the end of the meditation, just giving yourself thanks for allowing the time and the space to do a self-nurturing process like this, and really tapping into what it is that you can draw to yourself when you really are aligned with your true purpose, your heart, that divine source of energy. Sending gratitude to your body, to your mind, your spirit, knowing there's no one else like you in the world. and just sending thanks for allowing your energy to shift in such an easy and graceful way for this magnifying experience of your goals to occur. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And when you're ready, just giving your fingers and your toes a little bit of a wiggle, your body a wiggle, feeling yourself back in the room. And open your eyes, feeling relaxed, refreshed, and totally rejuvenated.
Thank you, Jess. That was amazing.
You're very welcome.
So as people are just coming back into the present moment, feeling really good, it is a bit past 2:30, so we appreciate if anyone, I just want to bring people's attention to the time. We're just going to wrap up in these couple of minutes, and we'll be done. But just letting you know in case you did have an appointment. You're very welcome, Penny.
Thank you.
Steph, great. Teresa, yay, I'm glad you loved that.
Yeah, thank you.
So lovely to have you all with us. So cool.
Yeah.
So just if anyone want to share anything, like we can always put your video on or talk. But I just want to mention that if you do want a copy of the whole planner, for those who haven't bought the whole thing, you can actually just get a digital copy for $17. So you have the whole thing just as you have now, sent to you via email. You can then take it to a printer, and I'd give you the instructions on how best to ask for it to be printed beautifully. But I also do have just three copies left of this design. So yeah, thanks, Jeff. You're welcome.
Thank you, Mylan. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
So we'll send out emails, well, an email out to you maybe today with a link if you're interested in this, but also to look out for, oh, cool. Jan, you want one? Fantastic. And Penny, I will keep one aside for you. That's really fantastic. I'll send you the link. That's great. And look out for another email too. We'll be sending out with some information of a workshop that Jess is doing in January. And
Yep.
I have a free workshop, just a one-day event in February that I'd love to invite you to. It is in Sydney though, so I'm sorry we've got a couple of people who aren't in Sydney because Jess is in Sydney as well. So if that's okay, just so you know, we will send out some emails with some info of what we're up to, because we'd love to just have you continue the journey with us. And anything else we wanted to say with that, Jess? I don't think. Oh, the other thing is that we are on again at 6 p.m. It's the same event. So if you would like to, I just
double dose.
When I was coming out of the meditation, I was like, I just want to put it out to you guys that you can invite people. I'll also, and in an email, send you a link to the 6 p.m. one. So if you want to share it or put it on social media, that'd be super cool. And then we can have more people have this experience at 6 p.m. tonight. That'd be really cool.
And thank you so much for all your questions and your interactions and everything. It really helps to bring out the best in us to, see what it is that you guys really want to know about. And yeah, it's been amazing. Thank you. My first webinar, so woohoo!
Congratulations. As always. And we'll also send you the recording. But the recording takes just a little bit of editing because I'll cut out the very beginning.
Thanks, Mel.
And so you guys will get a recording of this as well. It might be the recording of tonight's one though. We're gonna just see which one we feel. And we can always send you both recording. We don't know. We'll figure it out, but doesn't matter. Kai's gonna
logistics.
You're in our community and we'll continue to add value to your lives. We're here to support you and have you feeling good in every single way. Oh yeah, thanks. I can approve your access to the PDF. Oh, thanks, Mylan. So welcome. Also, too, for those of you who purchased the journal, I did do a video recording of how to use it. I will do it again. And yeah, but if you have questions on how to use it and you'd like to get into it, ask me and via email, and I can let you know. But hopefully a lot of it now is a bit more self-explanatory, but there's a couple of cool things in there. Yay! Pleasure to meet you for the first time, Alyssa. It was great to connect with you again, Penny, Marlon, Jan, Steph, and is that everybody?
Yeah.
That's everybody. Wonderful. All right. Well, lots of love and have a fabulous afternoon and week. And we'll speak to you all soon.
Bye.
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 I'll just end the meeting for everybody so you can all
Okay.
relax. I'll just end the meeting. Okay. Bye.